What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast.
We're on Two Tree Guys Podcast. We're out here at Arbor Fest, Asheville, North Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, 2022. Didn't think it was going to happen with the COVID and all that good stuff going on, you know?
It's nice to be back and seeing people in person, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got our good friend and colleague, Tom. Tom, tell us your name, spell it out, good handle, email, and then company you work for.
Sure. So my name's Tom. Last name is Dunn, D-U-N-N. I work for Arborists, and a good email is tom@arboristinsurance.com.
Awesome. Phone number 603-918-3302 in case you need any help with insurance.
That's right. That's right.
We'll edit it out if you don't want your info out there like that. Thanks for taking some time to being out here with us and talking a little bit. And you've been kind of like a mentor to me in the industry, and you've helped me out a little bit here and there. Just to start off, like, tell us how you got into the industry. We'll talk a little bit about who you've worked with in the past, but just how you got into like the tree industry itself and all of this that we deal with now.
Well, I think everybody has an interesting story about how they get into the tree industry. They come from all different angles. But my story is I worked for an association for a long time that had insurance pools. So that was my background in insurance. When I left there, I went to TCIA, Tree Care Industry Association, because they did a lot of safety training. That is really kind of what attracted me to them, because I had been involved with safety training at my prior position. So I worked at TCIA in a couple different roles, membership in business solutions. I worked there for 7 years, learned a ton about the industry, met you. I was going to say, you were kind of a mentor to me, so I'll turn the page on you on that one.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, I worked at TCI for 7 years. I did not have a background in the tree industry, but I did have a background in insurance. So after I left TCIA, I wanted to stay in the tree care industry. I love the industry. I love the people in it. So I wanted to stay involved. I had met Eric Peterson from Arborists. He had come out to TCIA, and we had talked about developing some services and programs together. So that's how I met him. And eventually I went to work for Arborists in insurance. I really like it because I'm working more directly with the tree care companies than I was at, say, at TCIA, which is more program-based. So now
Doing a lot of stuff in-house for them, setting up programs and ways of doing things.
Yeah, so I loved what I did at TCIA. You know, I think I developed some great programs there that I'm proud of, that are still existing. But my role now is more direct with companies and helping them, not just with their insurance, but with their businesses overall.
Well, and taking in all that experience that you've done, that you've obtained throughout the years of working with TCIA and their members, and you said people like myself understanding the work that I do in the industry, safety and training. Like, I feel like that's probably prepared you very well for what you're doing now and continue to do now, to be able to. I mean, we just talked with our buddy Stanley, Daryl Stanley, earlier when you were passing by, and I'm like, hey, we're talking about insurance coming in here, and you understand a little bit about what I do, and I was telling you, well, he kind of does a little bit of what I do, so what's the coverage around that or something like that? So
yeah.
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like it's prepared you a little bit and you understand a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my roles at TCIA is helping me with my role now, for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of knowing what all the different facets of tree care industry, not just the existing companies, but consulting arborists and climbing arborists. There's all kinds of people that have different roles, and they all have different needs for their businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking about, like, I was telling you how you're kind of a mentor to me, and what you guys, understanding what you did at TCIA and understanding how that worked, and I learned a lot about the processes and like what it takes to do one thing or another or program. Who was someone instrumental for you from the industry, whether it was through TCIA or through people you worked with, or maybe through the members that you worked through? Was there someone in there that you're like, this person inspires me to either stay here or keep going on this, or
No, I got a good one. He's actually now a client of ours. Is Tad Jacobs, who you probably know.
Tad, yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's been a mentor of mine myself.
Yeah, he's been a mentor for a lot of different people.
And he sat on my lap very awkwardly a few times too. So like, he's been that, and he's been a really good friend and someone awesome to hang out with, and,
Yeah,
and joke around with stuff like that. We're like,
you never know quite what he's gonna say.
yeah, he's very smart. And it's way cool that he still jokes around like that, even though he has
Keeps
all
you on
that
your
knowledge.
toes.
Yeah. so how was he instrumental? How did he inspire you a little bit?
Well, actually, I had reached out to him at TCIA through our business mentor program, trying to get him involved with that, and that's how I started to get to know him. And he was doing a lot of mentoring already.
Yeah.
And
he's kind of a natural for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of leads in the way that you should do something like this.
Yep. But he was very direct. He said if somebody that he was going to mentor, he says they got to be ready to be mentored. I don't want somebody that's not going to listen, or, think they know everything, which I think was important. And I respected that from him. That's how he looked at it.
Yeah, and he's still very involved in helping others and mentoring others, and
yeah,
I think he's part of like that, what we call like glue, connecting maybe like when you were at TCIA to people like us that were like members, or
that's what he's great about, introducing people, connecting people.
Yes,
and that's certainly something that's huge in this industry, and I love that about this industry. Everybody seems to be willing to help each other out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you don't see it too much in other industries. I mean, there's still gonna be the normal stuff that you have in industries, right? The normal little bit of politics, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because it's also important to recognize that. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, like they say. It's you have a little bit of competition sometimes, and but yeah, people are very willing to help you. And I don't know if it's because it's still kind of an unregulated industry where it's like, yeah, come on in, like we'll accept anyone, with any background or anything.
Yeah.
But it's very needed. Like that support is needed in anything we do as a community. As a whole.
I guess that's been my involvement in the industry, is different ways, trying to raise the professionalism in it, which we're all trying to do.
With that in mind, what would you say? What word of advice would you give an upcoming arborist or someone looking to get in this industry about the industry?
Well, I guess going back to the talking about mentors, find yourself a mentor, and it's not easy, but be open to it and keep asking questions, and you can have more than one mentor. Find a couple people that can help you.
Yeah, it's very important to find a good mentor.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many people out there that even are willing to, but sometimes either they're not safe themselves or maybe weren't taught properly themselves. People do bad things with good intentions. Like my foreman had the best intentions for me when I started working. And he would ask me to do a lot of unsafe things, and then one day I pulled out a manual from under the seat in the bucket truck, and I'm like, this manual is a safety manual, Juan. He's like, yeah, but if you follow that, you're not gonna do no work, Eric, and I'm like,
yeah,
Juan, this is talking about safety and how close you're getting to power lines, and I'm pretty sure it was like an EHAB book or something like that we had in the truck, right? And it's like, it says that, we got to keep minimum approach distances. And you go in between the lines, Juan, and then you touch the the neutral. He's like, the neutral don't have electricity, my friend. You know, things like that nature. And I was like, Juan, it's anti-standard from what it says here that we're not supposed to. It don't matter that it doesn't have electricity. You know, it could be potentially carrying fatal voltages at some point. You know, and he had very good intentions of making me a good hard worker, representing our culture in this industry. That, you know, he wasn't looking that we were doing it unsafe, you know, and stuff like that. So it was not until I found out and I took in good advice, and I was luckily I knew how to read English and Spanish, so I was able to read the manual, really get good information. That's one thing he couldn't do. He didn't have the English, you know, so he couldn't possibly understand what was even in that manual. So I was able to distinguish and discern that, you know, and then find a good mentor to talk to about and say, is this really true? Do we really have to follow this? Like, yeah, you absolutely follow it. Why? You guys aren't following it? Like, no, you know. So very, very important.
It's interesting with mentors too, because a lot of people that you approach and you say you could be a mentor, and they're like, no, I don't. You know, I can't be a mentor. I'm like, yeah, you got something to offer.
Yeah,
you can offer something to somebody else. So be open to that on both sides.
I've found out that a lot of times the people that are either already there or the people that want to be, a lot of times shouldn't. You know, you're like, I want to be the leader. I want to be the mentor. I want to be the you look at them and you find things out. And there's other people that are like, no, I don't want to be the boss. I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to be the foreman, right? You find that those guys are really responsible, that they should be the leader. They should be the foreman.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't like getting into the politics of the companies and the corporate stuff. And so they try to step away from that. So I've been helping people understand that, like, hey, you're absolutely great for this. Like, let's get you in there. Like, you'll have the help. You have support from us, from the safety team, from the corporate team, you know. And I think people have been able to accept that role a little bit more of teaching someone, of mentoring someone.
Yeah,
so,
I've seen people that have, you know, you first meet them and they're, you know, at a certain level, and then you see them 2 years later, they're like a different person just because they've grown in the industry.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for taking time to hang
pleasure.
out here with us and to tell us a little bit about your story. And this is going to inspire someone else. You know, this is going to inspire someone that wants to get into it. And the other thing is, you know, talking to people in the industry that want to get into it, they can do what you do, you know, like you don't necessarily have to be the ground guy, the climber like it was before, you know, or people used to see this industry as a grungy industry. Like, oh, you're a landscaper? Like, no, but yes, you know, now like I travel the country doing safety and training, and you know, it's great. There's these great professions. Like there's people who go out there and mark the trees for the utility services that do the planning, you know, the work that you do, right?
There's so many opportunities. You're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah. So word of encouragement to younger people, get out there and find a good spot for you in this industry, because we really need it, right? I mean, we're suffering for workforce right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a huge issue in the industry, and got to be a creative and look at people with different backgrounds that might not be a tree background, but they can find their niche in the industry.
That's what makes this industry great.
Yep.
And having people like you that have come from different areas to help this industry grow. So for that, thank you.
You're welcome. My
well.
pleasure.
So again, tell us where people can get a hold of you for anything insurance related to their tree company, to all the stuff that they're doing. How can someone get a hold of you for Arbor Risk?
Well, they can go to our website. It has a ton of information there. That's probably the best place to go initially. If they're, you know, they want to get an insurance quote, there's a form there they can fill out. It's called the Get Started form, and we'll reach out to them once they do that. Or they can contact me directly. You know, they can reach out to me at my email, or at these industry events.
Industry events are always a good place to meet services, people like you that can explain the service. And if you're out here, if you look up at the calendar for industry events coming up, you guys are always at the major ones anyways, you know, all the TCIA, this one, all the local chapters? You got to do some local
Yeah,
chapter
we're
stuff?
very involved with the local ISA chapters and the regional chapters.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, Tom, thank you so much for being here with us. Check out the website, arborists.com,
Yep.
and get started on there. Fill out the form, get it going. We're on Two Tree Guys podcast at Arborfest, Asheville, North Carolina. Stay tuned.